Alright Guardians, this is our solo player's guide to the Nightfall. This is the Hunter variant. We do this every single Tuesday and Wednesday, though this week I'm about 95% sure we're just going to do one guide just like we did last week, because holy cow, this was a bit rough. Maybe it'd be easier with the Warlock. I'll try that one next, but for the most part, this was difficult for me. So Wheel of the Thousands, if you don't know, is the final campaign mission for Warmind. It's where you fight Zol, the big worm god thing, with the javelin and all the ads spawning in. It gets crazy. But as far as setup goes, of course, Better Devils, Banana Man we start off with, and Telesto. Once we get to the boss fight, I switch over to Basilisk, just because one, it was just right there, and then that way I could switch over to Polaris Lance. Not that Polaris Lance is like a big deal in this strike, but it was giving me that little extra bit more when I could get those explosive round shots off. And then this is what we're rocking. We want Way of the Trapper because we are heavily crutching on the Orpheus rigs. And then I like Vortex Grenade and all that good stuff. And then of course, Orpheus rigs. So other than that, let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so once you get here, there's going to be two mini boss knights. I think there's 3 or 4 of the elite sniper acolytes. I forget what they're called. And then just a handful of acolytes. Just go ahead and take them all out. I did try to just like completely just ride my Sparrow past this part, and I got melted pretty damn fast. So, you know, just be careful. Use your cover. Telesto works great in this section for the mini bosses. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and speed through this bit, and we'll get to the next section. Alright, in this section there's one mini boss Shrieker. There is, I believe they're mini bosses. I think there's 2. No, it's just one mini boss knight, a bunch of acolytes, some of which are elites. There's going to be another elite knight. That one is going to have a sword and shield, so just be watch out for him. But what you want to do here is just kind of stay back. What I did was I was using Telesto to get the shields down, and then once that knight got far enough back, I literally just popped my tether, and I would just stay back because, as you can see, there's the Shrieker on our left. I would try and stay as far back as possible, but still killing that mini boss knight, as well as whatever I could get in my super. If you have to pop a second super, hopefully you got Orpheus rigs on. It'll make this entire Nightfall a lot easier. So just be careful of that. Be careful of that Shrieker. He will melt you really quick. I was kind of surprised how quick I was getting melted. So just go ahead and kill everything that you can see. And then once you do that, we're going to just kind of peek out. If you have Sleeper Simulant, that would actually be really, really good for this. I should have been using Sleeper Simulant. Hindsight 2020, didn't even think about Sleeper. But for this part in particular, if you're using Telesto though, that's fine. It still works really well. But just use this pillar as a cover, and that way, you know, just wait for your health to respawn or regenerate, and then you can literally just beat him out just like this, and then go ahead and scan the computer, and then shoot the generator tower thing. I forget what they're called. And then we'll move on into the next section.
Attention. Neural net inhibitor offline. Core power levels rising. Continued fluctuations will result in a critical failure.
Once you get here, there's going to be 1 or 2 elite acolytes. This mini boss knight. Just go ahead and kill them, and then obviously the handful of normal health acolytes. This room, I'm not sure if you can skip or not. You might want to go invisible and just try it out. But otherwise, you know, just kind of stay back like I'm doing here. Yeah, I think you might actually be able to just skip this section. Go invis, skip it if you want to. The door looks like it's blue, which means it's unlocked. So, you know, if you want to do that, go for it. I would have if had I known. But once you kill this guy, we'll go ahead. Whoa, what was I trying to say there? We'll go ahead and move on into the next section. This section can be a little bit tricky. There are going to be, you know, the handful of acolytes. You can kind of head glitch or whatever you want to call it, like I'm doing right here. There's going to be that handful of acolytes. There's going to be that mini boss knight. There's a lot of mini bosses in this damn Nightfall. That got old a little fast. But go ahead, use Telesto or whatever, you know, power weapon you're using. And then just kind of whittle his boss down. And then once you do that, you're going to go ahead and override the neural net. Let's go ahead and grab your power ammo real quick. You're definitely going to need it. Make sure everything's reloaded before you investigate this thing. And then get your super ready. There's going to be a bunch of acolytes that spawn into the left, as well, I believe, as a couple knights. Am I remembering that correctly? No, it's thralls. Thralls and acolytes. There should be just enough to get your super back, which is fantastic. And exploder thralls, that's why I was thinking. Alright, so you can just kind of stay over on this side. That would be great. And yeah, there is that mini boss. Another mini boss. Just go ahead and stay back. If you need to, go invisible and, you know, just hide behind some cover. That way, I mean, that's literally what most of this strike is. Go invis, hide for cover, cry when you die. But yeah, go ahead and just kill these acolytes, these last little remaining acolytes. And then once you do that, there's going to be another wave, which does have, I think, another mini boss knight. For some reason, I want to think there's also a wizard in here. There is a wizard, and I believe it's a mini boss. So what you want to do is, instead of shooting your tether where I shot it, shoot it more towards the neural net thing that we investigated. That way you'll hit majority of the enemies that spawn in, unlike me where I just hit the 3. Here we go. Just kill this guy. The knight or the wizard is still up there, so be very careful. Use this outer rim area as your cover, as your safety spots. And as soon as you kill that knight, you got this guy, the javelin. Just go ahead and use that on the wizard. Takes 2 shots, and then just kind of clean everything else up. There's a second, I didn't even remember this guy being here. Second mini boss knight. Be very careful. You don't want to be slamming him. I would really suggest just throwing it just like so. I'm glad that killed him. But then just go ahead and shoot the thing away. You can see my horrible aim, which will really star in the boss fight, the final fight. Holy cow. But yeah, this next section I think is the easier section. Yeah, just pop your super down there, or if you have it, or if you still have a javelin, go ahead and rock that. I wouldn't recommend standing there just because the shrieker shots will kind of come in through the middle. You'll see it in a second. I go to the far right or far left. Go ahead and just do that. Or if you rock in Sleeper Simulant, it'll probably take this dude out in like 2 or 3 shots, or 2 and some cleanup. This is a lot safer spot. This is the spot I was talking about. Just get really up close to the crates, just like so. And then of course these guys start coming in. Just shoot them real quick. If you have to, I believe you can duck back into the last room, or at least that hallway, to gather your health. Just be very careful when you do it. Go invisible if you need to. Always go invisible. And then just clean up the rest of these guys. Shouldn't be any more knights in this section anyways. But once you do that, we'll move on into the next section. Sounded like a flight attendant there. But go ahead. Oh, there was one more knight. Go figure. But go ahead and just kill these dudes. Hopefully you can get most of these guys that spawn in. Your main objective would be to kill that knight as fast as possible. And then the elite thralls, the cursed thralls. And then these acolytes, and we'll move on into the next section. Alright, in this room there's going to be a bunch of acolytes. There's going to be I think it's a mini boss knight with a sword and shield. He'll kind of spawn in once you start killing these acolytes. You want to stay back, like we're talking like outer rim of this room. Unfortunately, you can't run into the last room to regain your health. It'll just respawn you in this one, and you don't want that to happen, because who knows where it'll spawn you in. But go ahead and kill this mini boss. Once you kill that dude, there is going to be a mini boss ogre. So what you're going to want to do is, I like to come over here, kill as many of the acolytes as possible, go invis when you need to, and just kind of run back and forth from side to side. This area is really good. It's got a lot of cover. Just try and be very careful. As you can see, here's where I'm trying to get my health back. Rejoining allies, no thank you. But go invisible as much as you need to. Like if you need to, even throw on that that helmet that will give you extra time and invisibility. If you need to, if you find yourself dying a lot in this section, try that on. Maybe even try the smoke grenade invisibility, the bottom attunement, just so you can last even longer. And then once you kill that elite knight that I just did, go ahead and just really just try and focus on. Don't even really worry about the ogre so much, because he's just going to be there. Like if you have Sleeper Simulant, he probably won't be as big of a deal. Like again, the main theme of this guide is I should have rocked Sleeper Simulant. But go ahead and take care of these sniper dudes across the way if you haven't done it so already. But really just make sure you stay as close to some amount of cover as long and as often as possible. That way the ogre can't get you. Again, Sleeper Simulant, you might not have to worry about that. Otherwise, once you kill the ogre, I believe the javelin spawns in, just go invisible and kill whatever's left in the room. You don't even have to do that. You can just literally just run into the room, throw it into the core, and you should be good to go. There it is. I think I actually just decided to kill everything instead of running into that room, which if your invisibility runs out might actually be a smarter plan. There we go. If you do decide to kill everything, just be very careful. Backtracking is always acceptable. And then if you run out of the javelin, don't even worry about it. It does like almost immediately respawn. Which, that was the last guy. So whatever. But once you do that, go ahead and throw that in there. Let it explode. That will go away. And literally just wait until everything is done talking. You can see I take this just a bit too early and it runs out before I need it to. Also, if you rock your super here, throw it in the middle of that ramp. That way it hopefully gets everything. Like, I run out of this way too early and it almost cost me a life, but that's alright. I survived. Spoiler alert. But go ahead and kill all these dudes. Like I said, if you rock your super, middle of the ramp, all these guys are dead before you run out of a javelin. But go ahead and just pick up all the ammo you can, and then we will finally be in the boss fight. Alright, we're finally at the boss fight, and damn, is it not a long fight. So as you can see, we switched to the Polaris Lance. We don't have the Masterwork quite yet. We're still rocking those perfect fifth kills. I think those are bugged, to be honest, because you have to kill them with the burn effect, the damage over time effect you get. If you're rocking, obviously try and get those precision shots. I know they're really difficult. Also, if you're rocking sleeper stimulant still, make sure you hit those crits. Like, literally just wait until you get those crits if you want to still rock sleeper stimulant. Otherwise, we're literally just going to whittle his health down until the first wave spawns in. Now, this is where it gets a little awkward in this guide. The first time I did this through this fight, I died, and it messed up all of the enemy spawns. Usually, right there is where the first wave of enemies spawned in the first time. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. But all that was in that first one was a bunch of acolytes. Literally just go ahead and just pop your tether. You'll like almost immediately get it back. And then just go ahead and kill all those dudes. And then he'll spawn back in and we'll be right back here. Now, just like before, if you want to be safe when he actually does that slithering thing across the map, just stand on top of this thing that I was standing behind, and you'll be safe every single time. Now, the reason you see me throwing the javelin at his base instead of his head is because I suck at aiming. And I was not hitting those crits. Like, you can see like, I'm just now realizing those crits on just behind his head, I could have been hitting those for some extra damage. Here's that wave I was talking about that got messed up. Bunch of acolytes and some thralls. But because of that, I think I get 2 waves here. Maybe not. Yep, there's the second one. Second wave is usually where that first wave just spawned in. It's going to be 3 elite wizards, I believe 2 and a bunch of thralls, of course, and some like 2 knights, both just regular red bar health, If you have to, run away. Like, don't even sweat it. No one's judging you for running away, because we're solo playing. But go ahead and just stay back here if you want to. If you really want to, there's a couple of things to cover behind us, and you'll see me go to those later. Just be very careful around these wizards. Now, if your spawns don't mess up, and that is your second wave after the second damage phase of the boss, these wizards will spawn in right to our left. So just be wary of that. Once you see those green, like, alchemy things that they spawn from, shoot your tether in the middle of all of the circles. That way you can just rock them all down really quick. Alright, make sure everything's reloaded. Try and also do as much damage as possible to him while he's slithering around like that. It won't do much damage, but it will still be, a decent amount. Just enough to be, maybe not even enough to be noticeable, but it might just make the difference between life and death, as you'll see how I win this one. So once again, when you see him do this, just literally jump up in the air. That thing will not hurt you. After this is where we start wasting our javelins, because we're rocking them for the ads. It's just safer that way. If you want to throw them at the boss, that's great. Go for it. If you kill the ads in time, also great, just like you see me do here. Otherwise, don't even worry about just killing the ads with the javelins. It'll keep you alive. It'll prolong this fight. Trust me, I know it gets annoying, but it will also keep you alive. Here we go again. A bunch of acolytes, a bunch of thralls, and a couple of knights. They are just red bar health though, so nothing to sweat really. Here's those stage covers I was talking about. Once you kill everything, Zol will spawn back in yet again. Just be careful of the boss if you're running around. He'll do that slithering thing again. Try and get as much power ammo back as possible. You want to pick up as much of it as you can. And then another damage phase. There should be another wave of ads coming in. There it is. There's going to be, I think it's 2 mini bosses this time around. No, there's just 3 knights, no mini bosses. Remember, anytime you see that purple junk, just jump up in the air. It will not throw you in the air. It won't damage you. It will damage you if you don't jump, so keep that in mind. And then this part gets really hectic because the boss is shooting at you like crazy. These knights are coming at you like crazy. So what I do, go invis, and I should have just ran, but I didn't for whatever reason. There we go. Now we're rocking. But go ahead and just come back here. Hopefully you get lucky and those thralls will take out the knights for you. I didn't get that lucky. I'm not that lucky, which is fine. But as you can see, go invis. You can actually come up here. Zol won't hit you unless he's rocking that purple junk. Like just like before, go invis as much as possible. Do not just stand around. Even if you have to waste a tether like I just did, whatever keeps you alive, do it. And don't waste your power ammo like I just did. But he'll spawn in again. This spawn, there's going to be 2 elite ogres, and I think there's some thralls. There might be some acolytes thrown in there as well. Just like before, if you have to, run back to those stage things that I pointed out. You'll be safe there. Or even if you stay close to like the outer rim area in between the stage and this section, you'll be pretty decent too. Go ahead and rock that that javelin. Again, I'm probably just going to throw it at his base. Nope, I'm going for the head, surprisingly. But if you can get crits with the javelin, oh baby, it is awesome. As you can see, we're really rocking them now. I missed like 3 or 4 javelins there. Here's where those dudes spawn in. Didn't have my super. Not happy about it. So I run away. If you have your super though, you can rock those guys real quick. Otherwise, just come right out here. So no thralls. I was wrong about that bit. My memory is horrible. But there are 1 or 2 knights. Go ahead and just go invisible. Bounce back and forth between these. It'll keep you safe from the ogres. There's the super I wanted. Lock that first ogre real quick. For whatever reason, that second ogre just wasn't having that tether. He said, nah, I'm not getting caught. But whatever. Just go ahead and clean these dudes up as best you can. Like I said before, we're just doing this for completions. Be careful of these thralls. They'll melt you really quick. And then once you kill everything, the boss will come back up and you can finish them off, knowing that there's no more waves of enemies to spawn in. And that's going to do it for the guide. I'm going to let the rest play out. Normal speed and everything. So let me know what you thought. Did you complete this guide? Was it helpful? Whatever. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that YouTuber stuff if you're new to the channel. We do this every Tuesday and Wednesday, unless I can't get it done. If I do another guide, which I'm kind of iffy about this week, look in the description box down below. I will have it linked. Otherwise, stay positive, be happy, be healthy, live long and prosper, and have a really fantastic week.
know we've always got your back, Anna.
And I've got yours.
Do you feel it? The light is back. We're back. Eyes up, Guardian.